Good morning students. Welcome to Chemistry online class. Unit 9 Solutions Part 5. Students, today we will learn about hydrated salts and water of crystallization. Children, here you should know what is hydrate. Hydrate means with water. A compound that has water molecules attached to it. That compounds are called as hydrated compounds. So, hydrated salts means salts that contain water of crystallization. For example, hydrated copper sulfate. Chemical formula of hydrated copper sulfate is CuSO4 5H2O. It contains 5 water molecules with it. Then students, what is anhydrous salts? Salts without water of crystallization are called anhydrous salts. For example, we know CuSO4 5H2O means that is hydrated salt. But CuSO4 means here water of crystallization is not here. Okay, so without water of crystallization only copper sulfate salt is present. So that is anhydrous salt. So hydrated salt means with water. Anhydrous salt means without water. When we think of copper sulfate is royal blue crystals. In fact, this is just one form. This is the hydrated form. We know hydrated salt means it contains water. The anhydrous form is just a white powder. We know anhydrous means no water. When ionic substances are dissolved in water to make their saturated aqueous solution, their ions attract water molecules which then attach chemically in certain ratio. This process is called hydration. Students, what is the formula for the hydrated salt? Hydrated salt means that contains anhydrous salt and water. So hydrated salt is equal to anhydrous salt plus water. Let us know about water of crystallization. The number of water molecules found in the crystalline substance is called water of crystallization. For example, hydrated copper sulfate. The number of water molecules in copper sulfate is 5. So, its water of crystallization is 5. Let us see some hydrated salts. First, blue vitriol. That is copper 2 sulfate pentahydrate. Molecular formula CuSO4 5H2O. Here the water of crystallization is 5 because it having 5 water molecules with it. Next one is Epsom salt, that is magnesium sulfate heptahydrate. Molecular formula MgSO4 7H2O. Here 7 is the water of crystallization. Next one is gypsum, calcium sulfate dihydrate. Molecular formula CaSO4 2H2O. So here 2 is the water of crystallization. Next one is green vitriol, that is iron 2 sulfate heptahydrate. FeSO4 7H2O. Here water of crystallization is 7. And white vitriol, that is zinc sulfate heptahydrate. Molecular formula is ZnSO4 7H2O. Here also 7 is the water of crystallization. Okay students, let us see briefly about blue vitriol. Blue vitriol is nothing but that is copper sulfate pentahydrate. The molecular formula is CuSO4 5H2O. So here the number of water molecules in blue vitriol is 5. So its water of crystallization is 5. When blue colored copper sulfate crystals are gently heated, it loses its 5 water molecules and becomes colorless anhydrous copper sulfate. See, when we heat this blue color copper sulfate, it loses its 5 water molecules and becomes, this blue color will becomes white colorless. If you add few drops of water or allow it to cool, the colorless anhydrous salt again turns back into blue colored hydrated salt. Let us know about Epsom salt, that is magnesium sulfate heptahydrate. Molecular formula is MgSO4 7H2O. Its water of crystallization is 7. When magnesium sulfate heptahydrate crystals are gently heated, it loses 7 water molecules and becomes anhydrous magnesium sulfate. This is hydrated salt of magnesium sulfate, that is crystalline in nature. This one is anhydrous magnesium sulfate. This is amorphous in nature. Amorphous means powder form. If you add few drops of water or allow it to cool, the colorless anhydrous salt again turns back into crystalline hydrated salt. Next we move on hygroscopy and deliquescence. Students, let us learn what is hygroscopic and deliquescence. First we know about hygroscopy. Hygroscopic substance means a substance that will capture water molecules from the air and hold them. Yes, students, certain substances when exposed to the atmospheric air at ordinary temperature absorb moisture without changing their physical state. Such substances are called hygroscopic substances and this property is called hygroscopy. Hygroscopic substances are used as drying agents. For example, silica gel. Let us see about deliquescence. Deliquescence is a substance that is so hygroscopic that they take up enough water molecules from the air to dissolve and form a liquid. Such substances are called deliquescent substances and this property is called deliquescence. Deliquescent substances lose their crystalline shape and ultimately dissolve in the absorbed water, forming a saturated solution. For example, sodium hydroxide. It absorbs moisture and dissolved. Children, next, difference between hygroscopic substances and deliquescents. Hygroscopic substances, when exposed to the atmosphere at ordinary temperature, they absorb moisture and do not dissolve. Okay, students, so hygroscopic substances, when exposed to the atmosphere at ordinary temperature, they absorb moisture and do not dissolve. But deliquescent substances, when exposed to the atmospheric air at ordinary temperature, they absorb moisture and dissolve. Hygroscopic substances do not change its physical state on exposure to air. So hygroscopic substances do not change in its physical state, but deliquescent substances change its physical state on exposure to air. Hygroscopic substances may be amorphous solids or liquids, but deliquescent substances are crystalline solids. So these are the differences between hygroscopic substances and deliquescent substances. Thank you, children.